Hi guys, and welcome to Bomb Anime.
It's your girl Rika.
And Big Boy Summer here, bringing you our part 3 of Odd Taxi.
Wow! If you thought the first half was bad, you're not prepared for this. You're not prepared! Okay, so firstly, I was right. Those gangsters did not do their homework with the badger trap, and they had Kakiana there because they thought he was gonna have money, but they discovered he was a broke bee, and obviously they weren't too happy about that.
Broke boys don't deserve the cookie. Yeah, no, that's right.
Oh my god.
But to be honest, there was a lot that you were right about. I mean, Ruki, you called it. You said who got rid of the original member was the member that they tapped in. Ruka was wrong.
But you were also right. You said that we were seeing it from Arakawa's perspective, and that's why they were animals and they actually weren't really animals. And I wasn't sure about that one, but you called it.
Big Boy Summer was right. Do you know what? This show has so many twists and turns, and the little snippets that I gave you, literally I had to do mental gymnastics to kind of make some of these predictions up, because I was like, I don't honestly know where they're going, but I really want to go there with them. I want to talk about Arakawa. He is one of the best MCs I've seen. Now, he's not the MC that we want, but he's the MC we deserve and we need.
Speak for yourself.
Like, okay, I'm speaking for myself.
I wanted him.
He ain't got that flashy superpowers. He can't fly. He ain't gonna go into overdrive or turn into a Super Saiyan. But when it comes down to mystery and protecting his friends, he's on par with Naruto. I'm just saying.
See, that's what I loved about him. I love that he didn't have any superpowers. I love that he was just an everyman. I loved that. That's what actually made this so good.
Yeah, it was a bunch of normal things in extraordinary circumstances, and it was just great. I mean, even him being in the mental difficulty situation of having visual agnosia and this, that, and the other, brought back, I want to say humanity, but it wasn't humanity, do you know what I mean? Brought back the honesty and the realness of his character, and I thought it was great. Even him turning down money because he's been comfortable his whole life was true to his character. Well written, awesome character for me.
There is a lot to say about him, but I just want to say he is cold-blooded. The way he left Dobu on the floor with the bullet wound and was like, someone's probably already called the police and the ambulance. Anyway, I'm out. And he just bounced. He bounced. He left him bleeding out. I thought Dobu was going to die, but Arakawa wasn't even phased. He was like, peace out. I got to do.
I know why I came here.
Oh my god, I absolutely loved that moment, but it was also shocking because even though we followed Arakawa this whole time, that was something I still didn't expect to get from his character. So I absolutely love the way this was written. It wasn't predictable. Yes, some things were predictable, but overall it was not predictable. Can we start talking about Kakiana? Because I just need to rip into him real quick and then we can move on to something else. But I just need to, please, right. Can I?
Go on, let's talk about Scummy Mr. Scum.
Okay then, so Kakiana is so pathetic that he is out here telling Shiho that he can protect her, that he knows martial arts, while simultaneously being tied to a post and being beaten to a pulp. He's still telling her like, oh, I can give you this life. Like, what the hell?
He was getting kicked in the face as he was saying it.
On top of that, when they let him call his mom, you're like, okay, he's gonna be saying how much he loves her and saying like, you know, his last goodbyes or something. But all he can think about to say is, oh, I was gonna get married to Shiho, but now that's not gonna happen. Sorry, but now that is not.
Can you control yourself? Control yourself.
But now that's not going to happen. What the F?
You know, like, moms, I love you. I've not been the best son. I think you're the greatest thing. Any of those bars, fam. But his bars was about gals that don't even love him. Jeez.
I don't know what to say. I love the way Odakawa was like, nah, he's not getting a cent of this money that I'm getting. He is gonna work that off himself. Yes, he needs to go ahead and work that off himself. Ridiculous.
Work. Kakiano, work. No, but on the level, Kakiano he's also a victim of the ongoing theme of trauma and childhood trauma in this show.
Where was his trauma?
Remember, Odakawa told him the moment he became pathetic.
Yeah, what's that got to do with trauma? He got told off.
Yes, listen to what I'm saying. Him, Tanaka, Imai, and Taichi, all of them had childhood trauma. Now, Tanaka turned into a crazy guy with a gun just because he had an unhealthy obsession with rubbers and erasers. Kakiana turned into a pathetic, simpy, lying, non-boundary issued sort of scum person just because he got told off for putting something inside the box. It's the whole butterfly effect of trauma that is going on here.
Trauma.
You heard what I said.
Okay, so none of these characters are black then, because getting told off. Getting told off. I wish.
Look, I get what you're saying. But
my God!
What I'm saying is, we know what they all look like now at the end of the show.
They can't even be Asian then.
That's true.
Getting told off. No, stop it now.
They brought back home, innit? Memories of getting beats in it. That's what it is, innit? Look at you. If you saw her face right now, you can see her looking into the distance, remembering the past.
Shut up!
What they know about trauma? I suffer trauma.
No, also, Tanaka that's not childhood trauma either. I think that there are different things that can trigger mental instability in you, and that's your environment, triggers, upbringing, genetics sometimes. So there are a bunch of stuff. So I think that in Tanaka's
situation,
he obviously got triggered by the rubber situation, but you could already see that he was experiencing some form of stability that a normal child would have been able to overcome. The whole everybody else can get things that you can't get. That is something that is overcome by a normal child, but he instead ended up not taking showers, running around playing games. He had a good job. He actually had a good job, which he just threw away and then started shooting guns all over the city. That is not something that happens because you got told off or because you used your dad's credit card. A usual child would have been like, oh, ish, I just did something terrible to my own parents, stole a huge amount of money from them. I need to make up for that. But instead, he said, woe is me. How dare everybody do this to me?
I'm not disagreeing with you, and look, we've read similar books on psychology and counselling, so I get it. But what I'm saying is that from the lens of the author in this show, these are the contributing factors to how their character development goes, and it's because of some mundane, benign initial trauma that literally turned into a boulder and out of control by the end of it and created this wonderful masterpiece. And you're right, these are obviously not black kids, because we know what trauma is.
Or Asian. Any type.
You know what?
Any type of Asian.
Any kids whose grounding was
any melanated person.
But I understand that in the context of this universe, there is a running theme here, and I probably was wrong in using the word trauma, and that's why you came at me like that.
Okay, let's move on to Shio. She is a whole ass bitch. Now, originally, I thought that she was a victim and she was being forced to do these badger games and she didn't want to do them, but she had no choice. But from her own mouth, she's saying that she wanted to stop doing the badger traps, not because it was bad, not because men suffered and got killed, none of that. She was just upset that she had to spend time with them in the first place. She didn't care about their lives, their livelihood, what would happen to them. No?
Okay.
He's getting beaten up on a pole and she's like, yeah, it was awful that I had to spend a moment with you.
Everyone here is flawed, and her flaw seems harsh, but what do? You're in that life, innit? You already know that you need to make this money up for these gangsters. You're gonna do some things, and you don't like the act of doing the things. You don't care about the consequences. Do you know what I mean?
With her, now you can say that was trauma. She was bullied ruthlessly. She came from an extremely poor house. She probably didn't get any affection from her family because there was too many people in the house in order to give like proper love and care to each person. Yes, she suffered some trauma and that probably changed her in some ways. But at the same time, trauma doesn't mean that you cannot care about other people's lives.
But what happens if the trauma makes you... What happens if the trauma makes you disassociative? Then you start not caring about other people's lives. As you said, there are triggers, environmental factors, genetics, and biology. Those are the reasons why people's mind states change. And so you can either be medicated or counseled out of it. She got neither. And so this is her body's defense mechanism for not caring about anyone else.
No, yes, trauma exists. Yes, it is horrible. Loads of people go through trauma. Probably no one escapes life without some form of trauma touching them in some way. However, you still have a duty once you become an adult, which she is. Once you become an adult, you have a duty to try to be better in whatever way that means. I strongly believe that everybody has a duty to try and become better people. Whatever that means for you, go and seek counseling if that's what you feel like you need. If you feel like you need medication, go ahead and seek that. Don't sit here ruining other people's lives and saying, oh, I'm ruining people's lives because my life was hurt. How is that going to make anything remotely better for you or for anyone else?
Okay, it's nice that you're extolling the ideals of your ideals, and it's great. Your justice is strong here. But unfortunately, we've just seen that the world don't work like that. Look, capitalism, that is on the backs of others. Like, we live in a society where in order for someone to go up, people must go down. And she's just making it pro.
Okay, well, let's move on to the person you wanted to talk about.
So, Shirakawa, okay, I called her. That was it for me. And then obviously, she saved man twice.
I told you she liked him.
Okay,
why didn't you just listen to me? I'm always right. Just listen to me from now on.
So, anywho, she saved man twice. She's obviously invested. I thought as soon as she got everything sorted, she was going to duck and that would be the end of it. But she didn't. And so I respect that highly. Now, is she in my good books? Probably not, but she's out of my bad books.
What? How is she still not? What does she need to do?
It's not to me, it's to him. I don't know what else happens.
Oh my God.
Odokawa might not have long left. I don't know if she's going to be able to make it up to him. I don't know.
Make it up till she saved his life?
Twice.
I think she's more than made up for it.
What, for saving his life? She lied to him.
For some people, nothing is ever good enough. If any of y'all catch Big Boy Sama in the streets, don't date him.
Wow. Wow, just there blocking, just there. Okay.
Moving on.
Let's talk about Mystery Kiss's main girl, Nikaido. I think she is awesome and honest, but I don't think she's cut out for this life. Obviously, Shio's cut out for this life. The other girl is also cut out for this life. But she's not cut out for this life, fam. She's wearing her heart on her sleeve. She's buckling every single time. She even had the resolve to go and kill Yuki, and yet when she did it and saw her dead, she didn't know what to do and crumbled. She's not built for this life, fam.
In all honesty, not many people are made for the idol life. It's extremely hard, very taxing on your mental state and on your body. Anyway, leaving that aside, yeah, she wasn't made for the life, but at the same time, she seemed to me like a person that just coasted along on her looks. And even though she knew that the other member of the group was way better than her, she had more stamina, she could dance, she was doing all these extra stuff and still was managing to be a great member of the team. She didn't like that she was going to get the lead even though she deserved it, and wanting to kill her for that. She's a pathetic existence to me.
No, Ruka, say what you really feel. Like, wow. I agree with you somewhat because, look, we all know in life some people get privilege and that's what it is. Good looking or very smart naturally, like without working at it, or talented in other ways, and that's cool. Everybody experiences privilege at some point in their life, mostly. She worked hard as well. She wasn't lazy. She did work hard with her privilege. It's just that she didn't understand that some people are just better than you. And that happens.
She did understand that. That's the worst bit.
And she wanted to kill someone for that. Now, she didn't kill someone, and I get it. She didn't do it in the end. But that's only because of circumstance. She actually planned to do it. And that kind of person's dangerous, bro.
In all honesty, I don't think she would have been able to do it. The fact that she was so overcome with emotion just seeing a dead body and then having to get rid of that body, I don't think she would have even been able to fulfill it. Even more pathetic. I mean, if you're going to say that you're going to do that and you're going to do all these plans and get it there and then you can't even do the deed, bye, bitch. Are we talking about someone else? Next!
So, Taichi, my guy, I envy this guy. Listen to what I'm saying. Ruka, don't give me that look. Listen, did you see the numbers, bro? Did you see the numbers?
Are you serious?
2.1 million subscribers, 73,000 likes, man. Guys, you know what it is? Make us do that. I want to have them kind of numbers. Let us know. Smash that like button, subscribe, comment, everything. Taichi did something great. He saw an opportunity and he worked hard at it. The only issue he had is that he had absolutely no resolve.
You're giving me a big boy headache. Just can't deal with you today.
Am I wrong though? Tell me if you
my
got those
God.
numbers, you wouldn't be happy.
He was recording people shooting things up. Of course he's going to go viral. Of course he's going to have a massive amount of subscribers and I'm not doing this with you. I'll talk about his character himself. I can't do this. So he ran to catch Jobu with literally no plan, and I just don't know what he thought was going to happen. He knows Jobu's a dangerous criminal, but he turns up and he just thought he was going to record him and he was going to just leave. Instead, he ended up losing everything. His house, his car, his money. He lost everything, and not even for a good cause, because Dobu took it and then went to prison. So now the police have it. It's their property. Like, what the hell? Everything went wrong.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but those numbers though, like literally. Okay, look, he did it once, he could do it again.
Okay, and I also like how quirky the characters are without being caricatures, because it could have easily gone that way, but it didn't. I really appreciate.
Are you serious?
I also like Yano's character because he is funny without trying to be funny. I love the way he speaks only in raps. He dances around to literally zero music. He's riding around on an electric scooter in a suit, and not just a cheap suit. The way he said it, like it seemed like they were good suits. And he's out here being a gangster with all these subordinates, but he's so small. I loved that part of his character, all the parts of his character. I thought it was funny. So are you going to talk about something?
Yeah, so Yano was really good as well. Like, okay, Yano did it for me, and yeah, he gave me Killer Bee vibes, and
yeah,
and I know there's a big debate on whether Killer Bee is a caricature because of hitting stereotypes or not on the internet. And I'll put it this way: when Killer Bee came on the screen, he made me happy. That was it. So he gave me Killer Bee vibes. He was there doing jokes. He was there to entertain me on the screen. It was comic relief, but my guy was very smart. His schemes were intelligent. There was flaws, yeah, but it looked like a reflection of what the show was trying to do, which was show how youth and talent versus age and experience, and constantly having those battles. But in the end, they all went to jail. So
I thought it was really interesting that Dobu still was willing to work with Odokawa, even though Odokawa left him for dead. He should have known at that point that Odokawa was not here. He got shot in the leg, and Odokawa bounced in his taxi and left him. Had it not been for Taichi coming when he did, he would have been limping home, or he could have gotten killed by the other gangster. Like, anything could have happened to him, and Odokawa bounced. And the very next day, Dobu is in the back of Odokawa's taxi going, yeah, bro, are we sticking to the plan? Hilarious.
it is what it is. Like, he's never met someone on his level before. Someone who looks at him not as a scary gangster or someone that, oh my God, I need to fear, but someone who would just be like, nah, don't you know I can hurt you, yeah? And he's never had that, so he saw it as an asset. And it was, and it could have been, but he also underestimated him.
So just before we move on to the verdict, I do kind of want to talk about a few things that didn't really sit right with me. The first thing has got to be Dr. Gariki. In the first episode, he was talking to Odokawa's friends, and he was saying Odokawa needs to get treated elsewhere, and also telling them about Odokawa's involvement in this case, in the missing person case. He went from that to saying how Odokawa's his friend, he needs to treat him, like tracking down his whole life story. I didn't get the jump. It wasn't explained enough. It just seemed weird.
I felt that as well. It didn't feel like from episode 1 to episode 4 when I think it just started going that way, where I thought, you know what, this makes no sense. But I know that the writers tried to do that whole little conversation before with Gariki and Shirakawa in order to give that pretext for it to happen. It was loose for me as well.
Yeah, I didn't like that. The second thing that really didn't sit right with me is these gangsters that work for the main boss. I don't know what his name was. He has all these people running around for him, doing everything. They can do anything to get him his money except for kill other people. However, these guys are running around for 1 billion yen, which is like about 6.5 mil in Great British pounds. He doesn't have that. Why are they running these little small-time badger games that they haven't thoroughly done their investigations in? That this must happen more than once. People catfishing on the internet and not actually having money. Yet this boss has enough money to be supporting any child who's orphaned through a traffic accident and supporting their entire life, paying off rent for the rest of their lives, moving them completely to a different part of the country. I don't understand how he can do all of this, but his subordinates are scrambling for cash.
Look, I have to defend Don Paper on this one. He has more than 2 subordinates. We only had 2 that we saw.
Yeah, that's
First of
true.
all. Second of all, he has been doing this for ages, so obviously these 2 are new in that sense. One's going one route and one's going the other. The other subordinates are the ones that are taking over everything else. So the same way that he's looking after orphans and making sure that they're living comfortably forever is the same way he's ushering the new subordinates and making sure that they're going through the ranks. He's letting people do what they need to do in order for them to get better. Go on.
I don't agree. Someone of his caliber, as high up as he is, would not have such small-time gangsters that have ended up in prison. He would be very careful because he needs to make sure that he is completely protected, and these little low-life subordinates have him as their direct boss. It wouldn't run like that. There would be multiple networks before you even get to the boss, and you would never be able to like link them together in that way. To the verdict! What did you think of this anime as a whole?
Right, so as a whole, I thought it was a bit, I'm kidding, it was hot. Well written, everything was great. The way that they handled subjects was great. Hot.
Massive hot, one of the best animes of this year.
Yeah, so guys, don't forget to like, subscribe and share.
Peace.